All right. Well, I guess we'll get started, and maybe if people join us, they join us. We'll see. All right. So today, let's see, it's me, Stacy. I'm with K-Waves Arvada office. We have Jeff here in the room. And hi, Paige. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
Good. I'm glad you joined us today.
Me too.
We're talking about marketing. So this is, marketing can be lead generation for your own business, and it can be marketing your seller listings. Both things are important. So Paige, what trying to remember, I think I've had you in an Ignite class before. What has been your experience? What have you done with marketing?
So as a new agent, I haven't made it too far with the marketing stuff, but I'm excited to show up to this class today because this week I'm taking on my social media. I've created a page for my business that I haven't really, I just need to go all in. I need to focus and just spend a few hours making that pretty and putting some content on there, and then I need to be my own social media manager. So for me, that's the biggest part of marketing right now. The lead gen is good stuff, but I'm here for maybe a social media focus or what I can get from that.
Sure. So you want to have a presence there. So when people look for you, they see a real estate expert.
Absolutely.
That sounds good. Jeff's had a lot of experience here in marketing for real estate as well. So where are you at with marketing your own business?
I haven't done much of it yet because I just finally got through all of my 1,000 people in my sphere.
Okay.
And then now I'm starting to branch out, and actually, just this week, ironically, I'm going to start to push the envelope and start marketing myself to new groups and so forth.
Okay.
So I honestly don't know what that's going to look like quite yet.
Okay. Well, maybe we can go through some of that. Do you have like a online business presence at all for you, or?
I just have a website and
the Keller Williams website, or something different?
Just a personal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's nothing special at all right now.
Okay.
Because it really hasn't been useful. Nobody's asked about it.
Sure.
I don't know. I looked at the activity last week, and
nobody. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to pull people to. I mean, there's so many websites out there, and there's so many ways people look for information, and especially like real estate information. And there's the big ones that people go to, and so. For one single agent to be on the radar of anybody is a lot in as far as the website world is considered. I think that's one of the reasons why having the Keller Williams website, that's kind of like, it is what it is. But if somebody looks for you and they see something that looks professional, okay, at least there's something, you know what I mean? And they see that you have real estate information, and they can search for stuff or whatever. But to imagine that somebody's going to go to stacytimmerman.com versus going to Zillow or Redfin or some big site is not realistic of me. However, if they're looking at something else that I've done in social media or, whatever, and I bring them to my website, and they go, oh yeah, she's got some information, or she's got some, I look legit. I think that's the minimum that we should have, is something that looks like, oh, they're a legit, real estate agent. Oh, we have someone else. Yay. So I think those are good goals to work on. What does your business presence look like marketing wise and all that. And Elena, I think, just joined us. We'll see if we get a picture or not.
Surely doesn't do video.
No, Oh, hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so good. I'm Stacy. Hello, and we're going to talk about marketing today. We were just talking about where everybody else is at with marketing. So tell me a little bit about you. Where are you at with marketing and your business?
Talking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Marketing everywhere when I can. Facebook. In next week, I will take class how to marketing myself in. I'm sorry, morning. Morning, it is not my time of day. I kind of.
That's all right.
Instagram, how correct to work
Oh,
on Instagram.
that's good.
I posted myself in Russian newspaper, the printed and online newspaper.
Okay.
So I have my business card around stores and restaurants, Russian, when living Russian speakers.
Okay.
You can use me.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you've already identified your market, right?
Yeah. But
target audience.
Look, I have so heavy accent. I would like to work with everybody, but not so many people in American speakers. I want to work with people who have very heavy accent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean, if you, I think sometimes people who don't, maybe if they are Russian, they don't know English as well, they'd feel a lot more comfortable with somebody who knows both languages, like you do.
No, sometimes I have now customer, he speak pretty good English. He can read and write in English, but he feel not comfortable to work like lenders. I sent him now Michael Sadovsky. And he did not connect. I asked why. I don't know how to talk.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I need to answer my cell phone.
Okay.
I will come back.
Okay. All right. So we have several things to go through. I think that, well, you may already know this, but basically when we look at marketing, prospecting is something that we can do that we are talking to people, specifically reaching out to them. It may be time intensive, but it's proactive, immediate results. And there's typically either no or not a lot of money involved, right? So whereas marketing can be a lot more money intensive depending on what you're doing, it is passive. We're pushing something out there and expecting people to react to it and come to us versus reaching out to somebody one-on-one, etc. However, marketing, depending on what you do with that, maybe for farming or whatever, could result in more long-term results. So, I mean, you guys have already mentioned maybe some marketing that you're familiar with, like doing some Facebook and Instagram, like Elena said, things like that. Social media marketing is one. Let's look at this next slide. And I think that there's something in your book as well, if you have that Ignite toolkit thing printed out, that has a lot of this on there. I want to say, I can't remember what page, but that's okay. Here's kind of just a big long list of things that are prospecting, things that are marketing, things that are both. Kind of move us down here so we can see everybody up there, see all the things. Whether in this world or in another career or whatever, let's talk about a few of these things. What are things? Let's see, Paige, you said you're just starting out, so none of these are things that you've tried for real estate. If you have any experience with any of them at all, let me know. Jeff, what about you? What do you think? Let's see if I can. Oh, this is kind of covering that side bit of the marketing over there. I've done go ahead.
There's only probably a few of those I haven't done. I haven't done the yellow pages,
Yeah,
grocery carts.
yeah. I've never done the grocery carts. In my previous life, we did do yellow page advertising. I worked for AAA. We had a lot of older customers, and yeah, they still looked at yellow pages. That was like 8 years ago, but still.
Way early in my career, I did it for Midas.
Yeah.
But that's like 30 years ago.
Yeah. I haven't done bus stop or benches. I have done out of home, but it was all, again, for previous clients, because my previous career was in marketing. I've done billboards and things like that previously. But these are all great ideas depending on what you want to spend. So let's talk about, obviously when you're starting out in your career, you don't want to spend so much money that you're spending more than you're bringing in, because it takes a while. It takes a while to get going. So this is why we really focus and ignite on prospecting. However, there are things you can do for low cost in marketing that include social media, because you already have, those are free to you. The only thing that's going to start costing something is if you start placing ads in social media, which you can do. You can say, for instance, we can do an ad that says, something about homes in Arvada under 600,000 or under 500, or whatever it is. And one of the nice things about our Keller Williams website is that if you do an ad like that, where you're promoting, like, get a list of homes, basically, you can go to your Keller Williams website where you search for homes, and you can do a search. And so say you want to search in a specific town. You say, I want to search in Conifer, and I want to be under, what's a good price? Under whatever in Conifer. Let's
500.
Huh?
500.
Oh, all right, well, we'll try it. So say you did a search for, here, let's go. Let me see if I can. Let me go to a web page. And hang on 1 second. Where's my Zoom? Oh, here we go.
Paige, you're up in Conifer, aren't you?
I am. I'm actually based out of the Evergreen office, but I spend a lot of time in Conifer as a new agent.
What's the price point up there?
The average home right now, I think they were saying in a meeting, I think the average is like 700 or 750. Does that sound about right, Elena? Something like that. It's pretty high for the average. It's definitely higher than 5.
Do you get any homes below 500? 600?
I've seen a couple, but they are, I
Rare?
don't know how to put this delicately. They're kind of shacks, and they're really remote. But hey,
yeah, I hear that. Okay.
are you seeing any pulling up for that price range? I'm curious. I haven't.
No, I was just trying to share a different screen. Here we go. Let's go to, if I go to my website real quick, hopefully this is going to share.
Stacy, I haven't, I think I've been shown this before, but not personalized like that. Like, this is your KW.
Yeah.
I thank you for doing this real quick. This is awesome.
So if you go into this real quick, and I say, I search in Conifer, and I have listings near Conifer. Great. Now I want to kind of limit it on price, maybe. If I say,
I don't think this is right, is it?
It's not. It's looking somewhere else.
It's Conifer, like in.
Yeah, let me look at. It's like it's looking at it's looking at some other weird. Okay, let's just do Arvada real quick. Let me see if it finds that. Here, Arvada, found a city. Okay, so 600K or less in Arvada. What is it saying? 82 properties, but that probably includes like some condos and things like that. So if I say let's go down a little bit further. 500 or less. Hey, 34 properties. That's not too bad. Okay, so if you have this search, if you go into your website and you have this, so you can see at the very top up here, it says stacytimmerman.kw.com, and then it shows all this other stuff right here, and it says it's in Arvada, price, sale, etc. If I just take that link and copy it, if I share that link with anybody, this is the page they're going to go to, but it's always going to be the updated information because it's going to look for Arvada, price, sale is 0 to 500,000. So if I share that and put it on Facebook, or I put it in an ad on Facebook or something like that, if I say, hey, get my, you know, there are homes in Arvada for 500,000 or under 500,000, then I can see if that attracts buyers that are thinking, I can't afford anything, but I can get there. Now, this may not be the clientele you're looking for. So you have to decide how you want to put something out there, because right now I'm probably going to get people who are like bargain shopping, you know, and that's fine. It's just maybe that's not who I want, you know, so you have to decide how you want to do that. So maybe you might do something different. Maybe you go luxury and you like put anything in the city that's above $1 million and say, like, see luxury homes in Arvada or something, or in Conifer or wherever it is. Like, do your search, and then you can share this link, and you can do that in when you're setting up a Facebook ad or something like that, or even just a post. And just after you put the picture up there or whatever, this is the link that it connects to if they click on that, and they'll come to your website and see all your information and start looking. Maybe they, and then from here they can decide, oh, I want to change this to whatever, but this link is the starting place. So that's one way to do an ad or something to pull people to your website. Also, hang on one second, sorry. I don't know how I got distracted on that. I'm gonna see if I can plug this in, because my poor little computer that I'm using, I didn't want to use the laptop that's here in the office. So I have 2 laptops up here.
I think everything's behind this.
Yeah, I think it's all behind there, and I'm not sure this is going to reach. So this could be interesting. Or, no, I can come sit over here or something.
Power's back here.
Oh, I thought I saw someone on the side of the room the other day. That's so weird. All right, well, I'll try it up here.
Is there a way to see, like, when someone clicks this link, say you posted this link on Facebook, like you said, like, hey, check out the homes in Arvada under 500,000. Is there a way to see who's clicking that link? Or
Yes, once they kind of register for your site,
okay,
you can see what all that they're doing. And
awesome.
anytime they come back to your site, you'll be able to see that on your command.
Okay.
Got it. And I don't remember when they have to register. But we can go look real quick. That was one of the reasons I wanted to get into my computer today, is that we want to look at command here in a minute. Let me go back and make sure that I'm not, oops, wrong one. Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit more of designs and things and get into command a little more. Yeah, we'll see how far we can take this. But first, okay. Hang on. First, let's go back to this real quick. Let's see. If some of the other things that we could talk about for marketing, to kind of get going, besides social media, I don't want to go too far down that just yet. Networking you could prospecting and stuff like that. You can do from command. You can also do emails to your sphere, to everybody you have emails for. You can do, let's take a look. That's another free one, which is nice because there's included. So doing an email newsletter or doing an update, or one of the big smart plans that we put people on could be monthly neighborhood nurture. So if you put an address in for somebody, or if you know you met them in a certain neighborhood because they were at an open house there and they're interested in that neighborhood, you include that neighborhood in their profile and put them on a monthly neighborhood nurture. So every month they get an email from you showing what's happened in that neighborhood as far as sales and things like that, home sales. So those are good. But if you're going to look at spending money, you know, as new agents, I wouldn't recommend going with big magazine ads and out-of-home ads and things like that, because that's just a lot of money. However, maybe someday you'll get there. Hey. I mean, and we have a couple agents in our office that have been doing this a couple of years now. Amanda and Nikki really own a specific neighborhood. They're really trying to work that neighborhood hard. They both live in Candelas. They love the neighborhood. They're super involved there, and it's working for them because they are really involved in the neighborhood. They're not just trying to sell to the neighborhood, but they're on, you know, they're part of local groups there, including the HOA, and they are planning events for the whole neighborhood, and, you know, really super involved there with lots of things, and they're moms of kids in the schools there, and they do all that kind of stuff. So whatever you choose for marketing, you kind of have to just, I mean, whoever your market is, whoever your target audience is, you have to dive in, right? And get super involved. And then you can kind of figure out what marketing makes sense for those people. Elena's already kind of figured out, she's starting to market to that group, right? Of people who, in the Russian newspapers, like you said, I mean, different sites like that. You can try to deep dive into that, let them know that you are in real estate and that you can help them and that you speak the language. You know, this is a great niche to kind of dive into. I haven't had a niche, so to speak. I've been working for my, you know, to my sphere. Margaret's been our productivity coach down here is Margaret, and I am on her team. And she's been marketing to a specific neighborhood, doing farming, as we call it, for a while. And we've just started now kind of farming my neighborhood as well. And it's something that I've thought about, and I just never have taken the, you know, deep dive into it. When you start farming a neighborhood and spending money, you don't have to spend money. You could door knock it all the time, and maybe you spend minimal money by creating a flyer or something like that to give to those people if you're going to farm a neighborhood. We've taken the route of sending them postcards. So it's not just, hey, look what I sold all the time, but it's hopefully something of value. We use a lot of the land title postcards right now, which you can do very quickly, which is what I like. I don't have to design anything. I don't have to think about the content. They have content every month, and we say yes or no if we want to send something that month. And we say, this is, you know, the area we want to send it to, go. They take care of printing. They've already designed stuff. They might tweak it if I tell them I'd like this and this added or changed or whatever, but they've already got the basic design, and then they do the design changes. They print it, they get the list together, and they mail it. And so they take care of all of that. That is a cost, though. The thing about doing something like farming or any kind of marketing is that you can't do it once and then you're done. You think, oh, I didn't get any calls on that, it didn't work. Well, people probably aren't going to call you after seeing you just once. What do you guys think? How many times does it take before they remember you?
Minimum 3.
minimum. I mean, usually it's 7 or more before they really start remembering you. I mean, that's just how it is. So again, this is why when we think about prospecting, no cost, that's where most people start. Marketing takes over and over and over again. And you have to be, if you're going to farm a neighborhood or if you're going to do some marketing, you have to kind of commit to it for a good amount of time before you decide whether it worked or not. So that's why you have to look at your budgets and figure out what that looks like. I think social media is a great place because usually you can get your friends and your family to like your business page, right? And that sphere people, this is just another opportunity for them to remember that you're in real estate because they're going to start seeing those real estate posts that you put out about, and those shouldn't all, again, even on your business page, it shouldn't be one after the other of, look at the open house I'm doing, here's my new listing, come buy this house, here's some houses, here's this, here, it shouldn't be constantly real, look at me, look at me, look at me. It should be offering value. It should be, and it should reflect who you are. I think it's interesting that, and don't do all that on your personal page like all the time. Every now and then do a real estate post, but people may not follow. They may or may not unfriend you, but they might start unfollowing you at the very least if you just constantly post about real estate and never about your life on your personal page. Because they're like, oh my gosh, he's going to talk about this again. I can't believe it. I want to read that. It's not bad to talk about your work life every now and then on your personal page, but let's just remember why people read Facebook isn't, to hear about my open house, my listing, my, blah, blah, blah. So try to just give things of value all the time on that business page. Yes, you can say, please come see me at my open house, but also say, give information about the market when you have a market up every month, when the new stats come out about like, this is how much homes have been selling for in the Denver metro or in your specific city or in, whatever, post about it. That's great. The people, give them information like when they say, so that when we hear from everybody else that we're in a bubble and it's going to crash, they know what you're saying about that, not just what they're hearing from Joe Schmo or some random TV thing. What are you saying about that? You're a real estate expert to them. I think also we've been trying to do things where we offer, homeowner tips or, and it doesn't, you can find content everywhere. So we'll get into the content that's on command, but you can also, Google's my best friend sometimes. Like you can search for content everywhere about what you can provide to them that's of value, whether it's, hey, here's some fall maintenance things tips that you should remember as we enter the fall, or what's the current trend in countertops if you're thinking about remodeling your kitchen. It could be, if you're a first-time home buyer, it could be a tip on, hey, here's thinking about saving money for a home. This is what it would do if you did blank, in your budget. I don't know. You can find stuff everywhere. Maybe you partner with your your favorite lender to give you some tips to give people. That'd be great too. I think that when we look at this list of what's available for marketing and for prospecting, again, it's finding who do you want to reach? Who do you want your target audience to be? For me, when I start reaching out to people, I'm going to start doing we're starting to farm my neighborhood. I also prospect by doing things that I like. I like to play cards. So my husband and I host a card night every other week at our house, and we started it on Meetup. We had to stop for like 1.5 years because of COVID, but it's kind of fun. We get people, to come hang out with us. We play spades, and I've actually gotten a deal out of that, and I'm talking to another guy. I might get his listing. So, and it just dive into whatever you like to do. If you like hiking, maybe you start leading a hiking group or getting involved with a hiking group. If you like whatever that is, that's the prospecting side of things. But if you find a target like that where you can think of a way to market to them, that's great too. There are a lot of groups in our office, a lot of people, or agents, I should say, in our office that have started to farm their neighborhood, and they don't just do direct mail and door knocking. They've decided to figure out a way to bring something of value to that neighborhood. So a lot of them do those food trucks now. I think you've probably seen that, Jeff. So we have a lot of groups that are in neighborhoods that maybe don't have a lot of restaurants or something. So once a month, they sponsor a food truck to their neighborhood, and they put it out there in, you know, they find a spot where the food truck can park. They put it out there in postcards to the neighborhood, but also if there's an HOA, they might do it through them and say, hey, you know, second Thursday of the month or whatever that you decide, you know, it's going to be food truck night. This month we're having blank, and they'll bring out, like, you have to work with the food trucks. You might have an expense here, because a lot of them do. They say, I have a minimum. I have a minimum that I have to meet, if $500 or whatever it is. If people don't buy $500 worth of food, then you are agreeing to make up the difference. So if they only buy $400 worth of food, you've put $100 in. Most of these neighborhoods that they're doing this in are big enough, and they're advertising to enough people that I don't think that I think maybe once or twice somebody's had to actually pay the minimum. They're figuring out a way to add value to their neighborhood, because they're isolated neighborhoods with not a lot of, they're just building up, and they don't have a lot of restaurants and things. And people are super excited to come out and get a taco or something instead of having to cook that night for the family, and they didn't have to drive all the way into town. It's kind of a fun idea to add value in a certain way. So if you can figure out how you add value, you might be able to translate that into some marketing, because even people who don't come out every time for the food truck are seeing these agents say, I'm bringing this to the neighborhood, I'm sponsoring this, I'm doing this. You can also sponsor stuff, you know, maybe for your kid's school, or for whatever else you're involved in. So I think prospecting and marketing should work hand in hand. There are some people out there who I know are really great at doing, I think Jody mentioned Shad was really great at SEO out in the Foothills office. And so he's got a great website. He does a lot of stuff, just online stuff, that he really is pulling in people. It's a difficult skill and not something we're going to teach. Like, that's something entirely beyond just basic, you know, marketing. So for most of us, we got to find who's our target, you know, who's our audience, and then look for ways to reach them. I think, Elena, you found some people, you know, some different ways to reach your target audience. Paige, do you have any ideas about who your people will be?
So my the most leads I've received so far are from open houses. So in Conifer with Jody, she's like, we want you to commit to one open house a month. If I could get one every weekend, because I'm kind of newer to the area too. So
yeah.
the best results I've had, which aren't much, but just anything, you know, people just having contacts and having leads. I've gathered those from open houses. So right now, those are my favorite.
Nice.
But I don't have a targeted group really. I'm just anyone and everyone, but I could see where gaining more focus and then really diving into a targeted group, I think that kind of changes my way of thinking, really.
I mean, it's a way to try to grab more leads. I've definitely done the open houses thing too, and I've gotten leads out of that. And sometimes there's an open house that's a total bust and you don't get anything. I mean, I had one we did a Friday night one, and we had 20 something groups come through. However, every single one of them except one had an agent they were working with already. I mean, we asked specifics. We were like, oh, who's your agent then? You know, like, oh, I have an agent. Okay, who's your agent? Oh, it's, you know, and they would give me a name and a company. I mean, these people were like, I think legit, like they weren't just trying to, they weren't just trying to like, oh, no, I'm going to have an agent. So unfortunately there was one lead and 2 of us agents working it. So, whatever. So there's some that are a bust, but I have had stuff that's come through and actually resulted in something. So it is a way to get out there. Yeah. All right. Well, there's all kinds of stuff on this page. I think it's in your book too. Definitely kind of look through it. Think about like, if it's a specific group, there might be an event or something that you could sponsor or have a booth at, or put an ad in their little, thing. If marketing wise, you can farm an area. You could decide to quote farm a group of people that aren't in one area. If you've got all their information, you can reach out to them there, multiple ways, including direct mail. And there's lots of different direct mail opportunities. So we've kind of talked about how do you know where your customer is. There's so many different ways to meet them. Like I said, postcard, or direct, or any kind of direct mail, phone, email. How do you communicate your value proposition? Anybody got any ideas there? How do you tell them who you are?
Need a better one.
You need a better one? Whoops, that just went out of there. Well, value proposition was one that I think everybody, they had an Ignite earlier. Hopefully that's something you can kind of swing back around to and kind of rethink, right? Value prop and what, what you offer.
I'm just saying, I just do want a better one.
You just want a better one. How do you come from contribution or connect in a meaningful way? I think coming from contribution could look different for everybody, but it's offering information, it's offering assistance, it's offering, whatever that looks like for that group. I mean, you're offering something of value when you post things. You're not just me all the time. You're saying, you have this information, have this, like I can connect you with, a handyman or vendors. I can, here's some information about the market. That's still coming from contribution. That's here's what's happening in your neighborhood or your city. Connecting in a meaningful way, I think involves, again, not just talking about yourself all the time, but saying, I'm here to help you and this is how I help you. Branding and aesthetic consistency. How important is that in your marketing? How do you achieve it then?
Consistently, like with me with the social media, just having consistent posts and maybe making sure the same piece of information is in there every time, whether it's like a logo. I mean, in marketing, the effect that a logo has on someone when you're seeing it on repeat, right? To the point where we see the Pepsi circle and we don't even need to ask any question. We just know that brand recognition, and to have that for your business, I can't even imagine how valuable that would be to not have to put, your name, just a logo. So, I mean, maybe not on that level, but something similar to that would be that would probably bring you some success, just brand recognition.
Yeah.
And it's always usually looking clean. If your aesthetic is good, right? It looks professional. People get that sort of a vibe from it. Like, oh, like this, if you've been online shopping, you click on like, that's a cute dress, and you go to the website and it's like a really crummy website. I'm always a little apprehensive of those versus maybe a higher quality website. It just doesn't give you any hesitation when it's like, oh, they've got their stuff together, right? Like this is easy to navigate. This is easy to understand what they're explaining here.
Yeah.
I think that's huge, especially in this day and age.
I agree. I think that branding and consistency aesthetic consistency is good and it's important. But I want to make sure it doesn't stop you guys from trying anything, because sometimes, like for me, when I first started, especially, I felt like I have to have a logo. I have to know my fonts and my colors and my blah, 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 blah before I could do anything. And I'm like, okay, I am not Pepsi. I am not, this huge, whatever. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And if it changes over time, okay. But if I'm at least getting something out there, it's better than nothing, at least at first. And yeah, figure out who you are, figure out what you're like. If you have some colors that you want to like, these are my colors, these are this is my font that I want to use that's pretty consistent, this is how I want to present myself. Yes, that creates something. I just don't want it to like hold you back from doing anything at all, because it did for me for a while, because I started in marketing and I'm like, no, I have to have all these things before I can put anything out there. And yeah, something is better than nothing. Because if I waited until I got everything put together, I wouldn't get anything out there for months. And you got to start somewhere. So yes, and you can use some of the stuff from Command if you don't have your own things yet, that at least gives you a pretty nice look to start. And then also think about how, if you do get leads from that marketing, how you're going to be following up with them. Like if somebody does, respond to something that you put out there, make sure you have a plan to follow up with them, right? The worst thing you can do is get something out there and you've got marketing and somebody responds to it and you don't ever follow up, because what'd you do all that effort for? You're like, oh, I did all these things, I got somebody. Well, you gotta follow up with them, and whether that's phone call and email, etc. And it takes, especially if it's somebody you don't know, it's going to take more than just one call or one email or one text probably to get them actually moving forward. You got to have a plan in place of how you're going to keep following up with them. Smart Plan's a great way to do that. If you don't, in Command, if you don't have anything else, look for some of those Smart Plans. Or at the very minimum, like I said, you're starting out, whatever, like give yourself a reminder or something in your calendar, follow up with this person, next week or whatever it is. Let's look at Command real quick. See if I can get over to here. Let's new share. I want to be here. There it goes. Okay. So if you go into Command, and you guys can do this on your end too if you want. So if I'm in Command right now, this is just a home screen. On the left side of that home screen, it's telling me tasks I need to do and all these different things. There's this little paintbrush and if you hover over it, it says Designs. You go into Designs. Here's where we can kind of use Keller Williams stuff to get you started. So what it's going to show me at first is my email or my designs that I've worked on. You can go up here where it says Create Designs in the upper right under kind of your name. And when you hit Create Design, it'll ask you if you want to do an email, social, print, or a video. We've talked about social a lot, so I'm going to start there. So if you click on social and you hit continue, give it a second. It's going to take you to another page. And let's really hope that I might actually move to the back of the room and plug this in, because I don't want to like have this drop off in the middle of doing this.
Just unplug mine.
Okay, are you sure?
Yep.
Hang on 1 second. Oh yeah, both of our chargers take up way too much room. Okay. for a minute. They need more plugs in this room.
Yeah, two for the whole room.
Yeah, right? Okay, so when you look at the left-hand side and I'm saying I want to do a social, there's different kinds of ads that are already kind of templated for you. You could push people to your app. You could push if you have a listing, if you click that little down arrow, you'll have all these different things going on for listings, for buyer, lead generation, business basics, which you can create email signatures, social branding. I haven't tried their email signatures. I'm a little leery. I'll have to look at that. Let's see. That's leadership. I don't need that. Luxury, only if you're in the luxury division. And then collections, they have a couple little collections of new designs and pivot shift head. A lot of what you're going to do in here is a lot of what I've used it for, I guess. I mean, it's either lead generation or maybe the listing side. So if you're doing an open house, for us newer, for newer agents here, a lot of times we start with open houses and we're doing them for someone else. You can do an open house ad and pull and get listing information and photos, even if it's not your listing. So you go in, you say open house, you decide what size. You can show only what you want, like the sizes, the wide, the square, or the stories. Wide being more the Facebook one. You can kind of see the name of it right here is 10OHFB, meaning Facebook. Square, like that, it would be Instagram, but you can use square ones on Instagram and Facebook, so that could work. Stories is that longer, like that. That's an Instagram stories one, size. So they already have them kind of sized appropriately for social wide being more Facebook, social square being more Instagram or Facebook, or the stories, because those take up that whole phone screen that way. So I'm going to just go to square just to have a spot to start, and they have all these different templates. So you can decide which template you like, and I'm just going to use this first one here, just because if I say use, I'll show you how to get that listing information in. Does anybody have a listing they want me to use for this? Let's start out. Nothing? Okay. So if you go down, hang on a second. So if this is happening here, the text is kind of moving. I'm just going to drag this over this box so that the text can go all the way out to the side. Same with this one. I don't know why it's wrapping when it shouldn't right there. That looks better. Here, this says DBA. You hopefully have, already loaded your logo, in the thing. And if you have this clicked and you hit this and hit replace, hopefully it'll do it. Oh no, this is asking, sorry. This is asking for the other part. So I drag it over and I just slide it into that spot, and now it says Keller Williams Avenues Realty. Here again, in a second, I have to remember how this one works. I'm gonna increase the size right here so that I can see this better, but you can tell right here that that's wrapping when it probably doesn't need to. So I'm gonna just drag that box out. That just has that each office is independently owned and operated language. So it already has those necessary things in there. Oh, I clicked this too many times. Get rid of it. You can delete images, you can add images, whatever. Right now, I want to try to find information for a listing and pictures for a listing that I'm going to do an open house on. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to do an open house for another listing. So we go to KWLS and you search for a listing, and you can search by MLS number, by listing address, by listing agent, Let's try listing agent. It's got listings right now. Sure the Heckenbergs do. See what happens. Darn. All right, I'm gonna look by address. Hang on. Let's do, what was that address that I did the other day? Gosh, 5610. Yeah. Trying to remember the address, sorry. In a second, let's just go in here and I'll find one real quick. And find an address here locally at least. One second. Should have looked up an address before class. Sorry, guys. Somewhere around there. It's probably got a pen. Didn't find it. Yeah, it's 5610 Estes. Okay, go back to
Still in Austin.
so we should be able to find it. Estes Street. What has happened? Was that you?
No.
Oh, I was like, what in the world? Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's this one right here, this first one. I just didn't have street, so I didn't like it. So if I find the address, I hit select, and then it's going to show me the photos from that listing, or if I click over here, it'll say listing details, and you could just hit plus, and it'll put that on your screen. However, it's just going to put it in as a random text box like that. So I'm going to delete that. But at least I can kind of see that right here, and I can change the address so that I have it right in front of me on the side. Oops, helps if I can.
I thought you could do some auto replacement, or maybe that's.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know why. 8002. Okay. So if I go here to the image and I go back to photos, I'm going to go to, oops, here, I'm going to say, my personal opinion, by the way, when you're doing a listing or when you're doing an open house, the front of the house does not have to be the first picture on your listing. Just saying. I think the first picture should be the picture that shows off the best thing about the house. If you've got a killer kitchen, that should be your first picture. And that's probably the picture you want to use in your advertising too. Because, for instance, this kitchen, if it was in this house, you would never know it. It's a cute house. It's not bad. But maybe that's more inviting. I don't know. Or that one. You can just kind of keep playing with that and see what you think. Anyway, you decide on the photo, drag that in. Some of the layouts have more than one photo. You can put all that in. You can change the information over here, and obviously your dates and everything else. And then if you work on a team like I do, you can still even logos, sorry. You can still, your logo should still be in there. You can add a logo. I don't know why it keeps adding this one that's not the ping. You can add your team logo somewhere on there if you have it. Otherwise, make sure your office logo there, and etc. For us, we also always say somewhere on here, skip like big text block. Come on. Fine. It's a hard way. Listing courtesy of. Courtesy of Aaron Coleman. See, now if I've added text and it doesn't quite go, you know, with the rest of it, you can change the text. You can see what this one is. This one is Oswald and it's at 30. So if I want it to match, you just click up here at the top and look for, oh, font language. But hey, there we go, Oswald. And 30. It looks in bold. It's weird. Hang on a second. Doesn't look the same. Oh, hang on. Look, there's all the different Oswalds. I think they have it in light or extra light. That looks a little better. Anyway, you can change the font size, whatever, if you're adding something else, but you can look at what they have and try to match it. This is one way to do it. Now, maybe you don't want the red, you could change that color. It has template colors, or you can pick a color and choose whatever you like. If you don't like the font, you can change that. This one is funky right now. Hang on a second. I just realized the square feet was going over. If you want to get rid of that photo, I just deleted it. It only deleted the image. Now the placeholder, I can delete the placeholder. I can go back in and add an image, and then you know, any image that you've got, or you can change the size, etc. There's lots of things you can do here. If you don't, but you don't have, you could just use their design and put your information in. You don't have to become the designer, is all I'm saying with these designs. However, there's a lot of flexibility where you can change things if you want. I am going to go back. Don't save. I don't want to save that mess. That was a mess. So there was an open house one, and there were lots of different designs to choose from. The other thing is that often before like holidays and things like that, Keller Williams will have new designs that come out. And so maybe from like your homepage or something, they'll say there's new designs. So if you're under collections, if I hit new designs, there's celebrating Hispanic heritage. Okay, so there was a Hispanic heritage. There's all kinds of holidays, including a Labor Day one or fall. There's some Jewish holidays. Lots of things going on. So there's even stuff about the magazine. If you go through and create, Keller Williams has a magazine that you can create every quarter that you can customize to yourself. You don't have to print it. You could just make it an online magazine. That's another marketing piece that you could get into and decide to do. The other option, let's see if I can get into that. Let me go back here. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Filters. Create the design. Yeah. So you want, once you're done with it, you do want to rename it and save it. And then you can, oh, I should have done that. Let's go back into it real quick. Oops. I don't want all that. I just want us to get out of the way. Okay. Let's see. Local expert. Pretend we're gonna do an ad on local expert. They have some market update ones that you can use. Or you can use, like if you have a title company that offers you one that you just use, you can do that too. So pretend I'm doing this one real quick, and I'm just going to save it, not change anything on it, just so you guys can see this. So up here, you just click in that name. We're going to say, I'm going to name it something, anything at all. When you hit done, it says saved, which is great. From here, you can download it and you can update it. You can, if you're doing a PDF for printing, great. If you're doing JPEG or PNG, etc., you can determine out of the way how high quality you want. Probably high here. So if I hit download, should download in here. Let's see if that worked or not. Anyway, there's also, if you hit share, if you have your Facebook business page connected in Command, and if you don't know how to do that, I would really talk to probably your tech guy there at the office. I can probably walk you through it here if you need it, but you can share it to your Facebook, to your Instagram, to your Pinterest. And you can say, oops, let me go back into my Facebook real quick, hang on. I didn't really want to do that, so let me make sure I didn't do that real quick. Mine or Margaret's? Okay, here we go. One second, make sure it didn't post. Nope, nothing. Okay, good. Anyway, hopefully there's the link as well. Anyway, you can save it, you can download it. Here's my download down here at the bottom. So if I open that, it's just going to show me the thing that I had, and then I can use that and post it on Facebook. Let's go on this page real quick, make sure I didn't forget to tell you guys anything from here. They have some designs up here. Let's look at these real quick. So tell me the purpose of this piece. This is a marketing piece that someone created out of Command. What was their purpose?
It looks like an open house.
Yeah. So it's just an invitation to an open house. Pretty, it's just really highlighting the one image. They have the date and the location, and they have their branding down here in the corner, the bottom right corner there. That's about it. Nothing exciting there. What about this one?
Just a listing, right?
So this one is actually a kind of a market piece, like a neighborhood piece. So they're saying things are heating up in Gem Heights. They're saying the average listing price right now is $362,000 and the average sold is $322,000. There's 4 active and 22 pending in that neighborhood. They're giving information on the specific neighborhood. that one's okay. It's maybe it doesn't say, you know, you thought maybe it was a listing or something at first, so maybe it's not as clear as it needs to be.
It's pretty cluttered.
And then this one, anybody got an idea there?
Some new listed properties. Something's pending, there's activity in the market.
Yeah, I don't love this one as much because it really doesn't tell me. The line that's all in the details is a nice kind of branding sounding line. But what are you trying to sell me? Tell me, are these your listings? Are they, what are the details? Because all you're telling me is there's a couple just listed and a pending. You know, yeah. I don't love this one as much. I don't feel like it gives you an idea, and it doesn't have any call to action. It doesn't have any kind of, you know, what do you want me to do with this? So we kind of looked at commands. Oh yeah. As far as creating social media posts, or you could create ads, etc. You can create in campaigns in commands. There's some other things that you can do for marketing. So let's go back there real quick. Just too many things on the screen. So we were here. Go back to KW command back. So we get kind of out of that. So we were in the design section over here on the left-hand side. If you go up to the little megaphone, there's campaigns. So when you go to campaigns, design is creating something. Campaigns is actually sending something out. So from campaigns, there's a dashboard, and there's paid ads, emails, direct mail, and social posts. Honestly, I haven't used them to send out any direct mail, but I know that you can. I have used them for paid ads. Like I said, if you connect them to your business Facebook page and you decide to spend a little money on Facebook and push out some advertising, you can do that from here. So if I go to paid ads, like I just did here, and up in the top right, this is kind of concealed by on the screen above Jeff here, but there's a create campaign button. So you click that, it'll ask you, what do you want to create? A social ad. You can do a Google search ad, you can create a social post, direct mail, or email. I've used the social ad and the email mostly here. So if I go to new social ad campaign, I can create, the name is just for me, so I know what this is. So this is like, so today this is test campaign. And it asks you what you want to do. This is really just for you to know, and it doesn't change a lot in here. So here's where maybe I want to attract buyers. And I'm going to do this on Facebook. And I'm going to say create campaign. I haven't done anything yet, so I haven't spent any money yet. This is, if you have a listing that you're advertising, here's where you add that listing information, kind of like we did for that one ad that we were looking at. The text, this is your main copy. It's going to start showing you over on the right where it has the preview. As you type this, it's going to start showing you what you're typing. So homes under, so that's where that main text comes forward. It comes up here at the top. Then here is an actual, so maybe I don't want to say that. Maybe that's what I want to say in my headline, because that's a bigger spot down here. It's a little more bold. So maybe I say you can find and it's taking a minute to catch up with my typing, something like that. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up today. Tells you if you have typos, which is nice. There. Okay, this is really basic. Oh. I ran out of space in my headline because it only lets you do 25 characters. Hang on one second. Think smarter. There. So here I've created a headline, main copy, description, and the description, it says may not show in all instances of your ad. So it depends on where your ad's being displayed. So make sure that works. Under media, it's going to ask you to select an image. So if I say select or a video, select media, you can choose from a listing, you can add an image or a video, and they have some design, like if you don't have a specific house you're advertising in or something and you don't know what image you want, and to browse their library. And that's a template library out of my thing. I want, or you could use something that you just created, like our test here. Yeah. Didn't create one ahead of time that I was really thinking about this, so I'm just gonna pretend that that last one we did is the one I want. So this is a mess one anyway. Go. So you can say preview and crop. And it's gonna try to make it a square, which is great. Save. And it's already going to put when you're doing an ad through command on Facebook or on, to put onto Facebook or something, it's going to add your logo, as you see here, either on the left or on the right. So when you're actually creating the image that you want to use, make sure you don't have to put the logo here, because they're adding it on top of your image when you're doing the command, the campaign. You see where it's kind of adding it either on the left or the right. So when you're actually creating the image, don't delete the logo, because they're going to add another one on there. And then you're going to go to Facebook settings, and it's asking what account and what page. I have a couple pages I manage on Facebook, so I'm going to pretend here. And I'm not going to actually do this. So then the button, there's only a couple. You can't write whatever you want for a button in Facebook. You can choose learn more, sign up, or apply now. The destination, it says, are you going to choose a site or landing page, or are you going to choose a Facebook lead generation form? And that's what they recommend. When you do the Facebook lead generation form, what happens is Facebook has a thing where it captures the basic information. It's like when you're scrolling through Facebook and you see a sponsored ad, and you click on it. In this case, it's going to pop up this little lead generation form. It's going to automatically pre-fill it with what Facebook knows about you, your name, your email address, etc. And then if you want to follow through to get the information to go to the next page, you hit enter and you say, okay. Now, some of the leads that you get are going to be bogus. They're not going to have good information. It's just how it is. They're going to have their name as something ridiculous that's not really their name. I mean, or their email address isn't one that they really use, or, you know, whatever. And they can change it right before they hit submit. But most people will just hit submit. So a lot of times you do get something good. Their name might be funky, but you'll get something out of it. And here under, so that's here, you say learn more. And then the website URL, what they get to after they enter that Facebook lead, this is where you've got to say, where do I want to send them? What do I want to get them to? My example here was Arvada homes under 500,000, right? So where did my little page go? Here we go. So we have this link right here that was Arvada and under 500,000. Hang on a second. I don't know that. Let's just make sure that works. Copy. Oh, it's telling me I have to accept cookies. Sure, I've accepted cookies already. Okay. So we had that link from before, and we want to paste it here. So you can see again, it's taking them to my website, looking for homes in Arvada with a price up to 500,000. Or maybe you're taking them because you want them to download your app. So you could choose a landing, and you have a page about your app on your website. So you could choose a landing page from your website right here on this section. And then when you go to, then you save that and you go to lead settings. What do you want to happen to leads that come from this campaign? So this is good now. You can have them tagged as a certain thing. So you might have them tagged as whatever you want, like Facebook lead, or you get to decide. These are different tags that are in my database already. So you could tag them however is going to help you when you see these leads come into Facebook. When you look at your database in command, you know, how do you want to see these? So you could see. So they can be tagged as a lead. That's a great spot to start. And then if you have a smart plan already in your command, like we have a Facebook lead follow-up plan, they would immediately get that. They'd immediately start on that. So I've worked with teams before where anytime a lead came in, like from their website or something like that, they wanted us as agents to follow up immediately, like within minutes, and that's great. However, when you're a single agent and you have a life, it's hard to do 24/7, right? So if you have a Facebook follow-up plan that you have like Twilio hooked up where, which is only like $5 a month, I think. Where so you can do Twilio where you can send text messages and emails and things like that. You could have, even if you don't get to call them within those first few minutes, they at least get something from you almost immediately. So if they really are interested in homes in Arvada that are 500,000 or less, and they went through maybe, so maybe you look at your Facebook, you know, your plan here, your smart plan, and it says, thanks for checking out my website, you know, how can I help you? Or what you decide. There are different smart plans you can look into there, and you can always customize those smart plans to be what you want them to say. But at least they get something right away, and they are on a plan to get constant communication. And some of that plan might be a task to you to call them. And it should be, you know, because you want to reach out to those people if they've actually come to your website and said, I'm interested in homes, or I'm interested in selling. I want to know my home's value, or whatever it is that your ad was about. So if you go through there, you can add any smart plans that you have. You can add any tags that you want for them. Hang on, sorry. So I've said I want to this is just an example again. I said I want to mark them as lead, and they're going to be on my Facebook lead follow-up plan. And then here you get to decide, you know, I'm starting this. They always give it a day. So, because Facebook reviews ads before they allow them. And then you say how long it's going to last. This is probably the minimum that you would do. This is what they recommend as a minimum is 10 days. It takes a while to get things going. So you could do a month, you could do, you know, whatever it is. You decide how much you want to spend. So if you decrease this and you have your duration, it changes the daily for you. Or here, yeah, so I mean, you could just type in a number too if you only want to spend, if you want to spend 50, or if you want to spend 20, it tells you that's not enough if it's red. I think usually, hang on, let's double check. Yeah, so then if you hit save, it's going to move through, and I don't want to do that. So you can save it. When you go up here to the right, on the top right, there's a place to hit publish campaign. And then once you, so make sure you have everything the way you want it before you move forward. There it goes. All these checks should be good, and you've looked at everything that you want as far as text and image and where they're going. All those things are set the way you want, and you have to have a card associated with your account, obviously, so that they can bill this amount to you. And then when you hit publish campaign, it'll go to Facebook. Facebook will review that ad, and as long as there's nothing wrong, then that they deem inappropriate, then they will publish that ad the next day. What they deem inappropriate. So with Facebook, here's the other thing. Sorry, I wanted to get into Facebook settings. You can customize your audience right here a little bit. So I'm going to say use custom settings instead of, you can target your database. So that's going to be, it's trying to hit anybody that you already have that email address for. It's going to try to match them up in Facebook and target them. So if you just want to reach people that you already know in another way, you could do that. Or you target a custom audience based on location. So this is Scott Wheat Ridge because that's where our old office was. So I'll say Arvada. I'll say Arvada, Colorado. I collect it. The minimum radius in Facebook is 15 miles. It will not let you go any smaller than that. And you can't set, you can add interests, but you can't, even if you're on Facebook and not on command, doing this same kind of thing, if you're doing this through Facebook, if you have to tell them it's a real estate ad, and they won't let you target based on certain things like income and things like that. There are rules that Facebook has that basically keep us from targeting too narrowly, because they don't want us to discriminate, and they don't want to be part of that discrimination. They don't want to, they've just decided to implement some rules so that they know we're not discriminating versus trusting us to not discriminate.
There's the ways around that.
Yeah. So in here, the only way it'll let you do it, the only other way you can target is adding interests. So one of the big basic ones that people do sometimes is Zillow. Because if they've had an interest in Zillow, and I wouldn't do Premier Agent because you're definitely going to get agents there. But if you just do Zillow, those are people who've been looking at houses, right? They're interested in either their own home value or buying a house typically. So that's one that a lot of people do. If you are targeting something specific like, hang on, why it's being so slow? Oh, here we go. Oops. Let's see what we got here. It's going to load. Nothing for horses. I was going to say maybe you have a mountain property and you have horse property or something. I don't know. You could try to find other interests. They're pretty broad, the categories these days. they've changed this over the years. They continue to change it. You can kind of scroll through, or you can try to type something and see if anything comes up. If you're trying to reach somebody specific with this information. Facebook, like Google, continues to alter its algorithms and its analytics and all kinds of different things. A lot of the latest marketing stuff that I've been through has said, you know what, we used to do all kinds of things to try to target the right people. At this point, give it some time and let Facebook figure out who's responding to that, and then they will try to find people like that to continue. So they're saying we should let Facebook do its own algorithms. Take that for what it's worth. Don't get too wound up about the targeting, because there's not a lot of options there anyway. Again, the minimum radius is 15 miles. If I take 15 miles around Arvada, I'm going to get a lot of people. I think that that's plenty of reach as far as area. Maybe if you're in a more sparsely populated area, maybe you go bigger. You can. I mean, you could do the whole US if you want, but typically we don't necessarily want that. We want to be a little more targeted typically. So anyway, that's the other thing about targeting before you publish that campaign. Make sure everything is right, like I said, then you hit publish, and then it'll start coming through. When you start getting leads, you will get notification in command that you have a lead. Let's see if I have anything right here. Oh, that's for something else. Higher compliance. Okay, nothing. I'm gonna go back to contacts. Yes, I want to leave this. I don't want to activate that. It was horrible. That I don't want to spend $30 on that image. Let's see here. If you filter by leads only and apply. Oh, I'm in, hang on a minute there. Let me get into you're not on Team, this looks a little different. Sorry. It's very similar, it's just, so these are leads that have come in from different ads and stuff that we've done. So they're marked as lead when they come into your database. And when you click on them, it'll tell you all these different things. Oh, I would go in and assign them a neighborhood based on the lead they clicked on. So this person got my monthly neighborhood update based on that. And oh, well, I'm subscribed. That's weird. Don't know what happened there. So the very beginning, when it comes in, it says where the lead's been received from. Let's see if there's a newer one. Hang on. Oh, that's not one I can tell already. I don't know that name. So let's see. Yes. So this person immediately got a smart plan that we had subscribed them to. And then it was assigned to me, and then they were starting to get emails from me and texts and things like that. So whatever you do with your smart plans, you'll see all that information here. When you get a new lead, it'll show up in your notifications up here where it has that little bell. If you have Kelly, I don't know, do any of you have that? The Kelly app?
Yeah. I hear this getting discontinued.
It's getting discontinued or changed or whatever. Right now, that's the, like if they reply to, if you have Twilio and you have text set up, where they're sending text messages out for you in your smart plans, if they reply to that text via text, the only way you'll see it is notifications, or Kelly will notify you on your app and it'll let you respond to that. If they hit call on Twilio, if you've got your call forward thing set up, it'll come to your phone number on your phone. But the only way you'll see a reply to text is either looking at these leads, seeing in the notification that you got a text or, you know, contact, or via Kelly. So that's just something to be aware of. I don't know what they're going to do with Kelly and with that information as they change it. Yeah. Does all this stuff make sense? Are you getting anything out of that? There's a lot here. But I just
This
wanted to.
is so beneficial, since I really want to do the social media thing. Like, I've seen the templates and that you can upload the squares versus the rectangles and the stories. I didn't even know that was a thing. And the follow-up, it's really nice to see what it looks like when it's in action, because I'm still just building and creating. This is fantastic for what I'm trying to do this week.
Oh,
this is awesome.
Good. Well, this is yeah, this is, so you've seen kind of how you can go into command, you can create something, you can use the templates that are there. You can also go into the what do you call it, the campaigns, right, and create something, and then when it comes back into your contacts. If you you know, yeah, if you create something somewhere else, you can upload those images or those photos into your designs or into a campaign as well. Jeff, you don't have to create in command to still use the campaigns. I don't always, obviously. So that, yeah, there's different options there. If I can go back to this little guy, they wanted us to look at campaigns, so we did that. So yeah, in your setup, I guess also make sure that your business page is connected, your Facebook or your Instagram or both, your pages are connected, so that you can do those things and you can create those commands and quick posts and things. You can immediately post to Facebook and such. So that's just all in your settings when you're kind of setting up commands. And again, if you don't have all of that figured out, that might be a great sit down with your tech person just to make sure all those basics are kind of in place to help you do these things. Yeah. See, what else do we have today? Anybody got other questions about marketing in general or marketing for a listing? Are you overwhelmed?
What are you currently using in your business? I see that you're doing beyond social media. I think I've got a pretty good idea what to do with that this week.
Yeah.
But I mean, postcards I've heard of, and I heard an interesting thing that people pay thousands of dollars, a year for monthly mailers. But if you get one listing off of that, I mean, that's going to pay for that whole year and then some. So that was something interesting that I was like, oh, I'm in the red, as a new agent. So I'm not really trying to take on any of that right now. But that change in mindset was really helpful when it's like, hey, if that generates one listing for you, that pays for itself and then some. So is there anything else like that you're actively doing in your business right now?
So Margaret and I are doing, like I said, what we call farming to two neighborhoods now. One of them being Applewood West, the other being Allendale. And we postcards to them. We've been using Land Title. Let me see if I can. So you can create postcards again in command if you want. They have in the designs, print, you can go to postcards. I haven't used them for printing. I've heard they're okay. Don't really know. One of the things that we decided was, yes, I can create postcards, and sometimes I do create the designs for like our just sold, things like that, but I don't, and I'm already coming up with content, you know, for social media, things like that, how we want to do things. But also coming up with content for, to send out, you know, on a monthly basis to a farm can be a lot. And it's just one of the things we decided to kind of leverage out. So we are using Untitled. There are plenty of other places to go. There are lots of solutions for this, for sure. When you look at products and you go to postcards, they have I can't remember now. No, this is not what the ones. So there are other things. Oh, referral marketing calendar is what this is. So for land title, if you kind of use them and you say, I want to mail to a farm monthly, this is the area that I want to include. You can give them like boundaries of this street to the north, this street to the south, this, you know, whatever. I want all the homes inside that or whatever. And they'll tell you how many homes that is. They'll tell you, you can work with them and see like how much turnover do they have in that neighborhood. Is this going to be one that's worth it for me, you know? Or you can say, no, this is my neighborhood and I'm going to farm it no matter what. But however you want to look at it. And then monthly, what we've told them, so we told them what areas we want to do. And now monthly, they send us something and they go, okay, October is this. Do you want to send this one? And you say yes or no, and they send you a proof. You tell them if you want any changes, and they make those changes, and then you say, okay, send it, and they take care of it. That means that it's, I think right now, I mean, yeah, we're spending money. How much was she spending before we got to the second neighborhood? I'm trying to remember. Was it $300 a month or something? I mean, you could probably do a neighborhood for like 300, somewhere in that range a month. It's an investment for sure. And like I said, you may not get something on the very first one or second or third. We kind of say you need to invest for at least 6 months, really a year, to see if that's going to work for you or not. So that's an investment. These are just like added value kind of, you know, they're all, there's nothing hard hitting here, like market updates, etc. You could also do this, but send them a market update once a quarter or once a month or something. These are just kind of more pleasant, nice, like, oh, here's some golf courses around the area that you might be interested in. Campgrounds were fun. Wineries were fun.
Do you ever rip anything out of here and put it in Facebook or something like that? It's like market update.
Yeah, yeah. And they tell you to do it too. Or if you're sending this postcard as well, you can say, all right, here's the campgrounds, you know, we did campgrounds or whatever, and we said, send me the social media images too. And you can post, they're similar, so it's a similar graphic, but it's just in, so, you know, that social media format, the same information. And you can post that, the market updates as well. So market updates you could post in social media either from like a title company like this, or you can go straight to DMAR or whoever and pull up their like social media infographics and stuff, and then just post them. Or you could change it, because I'm weird like that, and put it in my own formatting. Show you what we've done. So today was Tip Tuesday for us, and we did 9 tips for a productive home office. And then we have Friday funnies as well. But I also post open house stuff on there. Here's where I posted the market update for September, like a look at August. These are just the stats from DMAR that I put into my own graphic. But I pulled that straight from DMAR market trends reports. So when you go here to enter DMAR and market reports or market trends, typically, there we go. Market trends, September. They have all the information. You can download a report, and then there's typically a scrolling, sorry. There's like a infographic they have. And I just pulled information from there. Insights. There it is. Sorry, infographic market trends overview. So this information right here, I mean, you could just post that. It just doesn't have, it has DMAR and stuff on there, but it's fine. It's still going to show it's from you if it's on your Facebook page. I just take this same information and put it into my own graphic because, like I said, silly like that. Here we go. So this right there is the same info that was on that other page. So yeah. Let's see what else do we have on there. Another tip: clean your dishwasher. Do you know you're supposed to clean your dishwasher? You're supposed to clean your dishwasher now and then. Crazy.
You have to clean the filter a lot when you've got kids.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Be amazed what gets dropped in the dishwasher.
I'm sure, all kinds of things. So yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff through here. You can use commands. If you don't want to use commands, you can use other design software. Jeff, I'm sure you're still using Adobe.
Yep.
All right. Jeff uses Adobe Creator Suite. I don't want to pay $50 a month for that anymore, so I don't. I use Canva if I want to design something outside of commands. I'll show you that, and then we'll be done. So I got it somewhere. I have something to do at 11 o'clock, and we should have done scripting, but I'll show you this just because. Canva, canva.com is a website. You can download it as an app as well, or download it on your computer as well if you have Pro, and you can create social media posts, almost anything, honestly, on on here, and you can do a free account or you can pay for pro, which is 10, 15 a month, something like that. If you do social, they have templates you can use. There's elements, and if you use the free version, typically there are, see, they're showing me like real estate social graphics because I've searched for real estate stuff so many times. So they have real estate ones. I don't want to update it right now, thanks. There's a real estate template. Here's a real estate template, and then you can go in and just change whatever you want. It's pretty user-friendly. And if you use the free version, there might be a template or a photo or element that costs something. It's $1 for each like photo, so it's not going to break the bank. They even have some videos and things like that. It is another option out there if there's something that Command isn't doing for you that you want to try. They even have video and audio stuff now. So they're expanding and updating this all the time too. I think it's more user friendly maybe than Command is. However, Command is already integrated with your, pulling in information from listings, and Command is, you can do campaigns and things straight from that. So that's pretty nice, I have to say, if you're not used to creating ads on Facebook, business and Instagram and that kind of stuff. So that part is nice to have in Command. And Command has been updating and adding features as well all the time. Sometimes I'll go in and there's brand new things. I mean, honestly, the team functionality has gained so much recently. If you're on a team, we used to be only able to do campaigns from individual accounts, not from the team account, and now we can. So there's all kinds of things that they keep updating and adding to Command. So I hope it'll just keep getting better. All right, what are you gonna take away from today?
Just real quick. So you use like I'm familiar with Canva more than I am with Command, but I'd like to be stronger in Command. But it looks like you kind of use a combination of both. Do you pay for the pro with Canva? Is it worth it?
I do. I paid for the pro just because I wanted a little more functionality, and so I've done stuff as marketing support for some other agents before, and right. With Command, with a Canva Pro, I have logos and our headshots and stuff loaded. I have they have a brand kit where you can have your logos, your brand colors, like right there, so right that fonts and everything, you can upload your own fonts if you get fonts and stuff like that. So it has a lot of functionality as far as doing those kinds of things that the free doesn't necessarily have. And I decided it wasn't that much money. I wasn't willing to pay $50 anymore, but I'd pay $15.
That's fair. I like it.
That's me.
No, I could see that. Not quite yet. And I think I'll just exclusively use Command at the beginning just to kind of force me to get familiar. Yeah, and then once I start growing, then I could see where this fits in really nicely. So this has been really helpful for the goals I have this week. So thank you for that.
Good. Well, I hope you get rolling on getting some social media stuff out there, and
yeah, that's the plan.
Create yourself, a calendar or something, or decide what you're gonna, you can post on holidays, but decide, make sure you do some stuff regularly. And it's hard to do that unless you either put it in your calendar or create kind of a content calendar for yourself or something. Like we've created things that we say we want to do these things like on Tuesdays, we'll have it Tuesday, etc. Like so that there's a flow of content and it's not, 6 months old and you're like, I haven't been able to get back in there. All right, Elena, how about you? Hopefully you got something from today?
Yeah, I really did not know how to use listing picture information for command. So I will use
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
What I'm doing with command, I really like command, and I periodically using command to create some posts for my Facebook.
Oh,
I
good.
use in design because sometimes even my personal page, because when I want to post some picture
Mhm.
in Google, you cannot edit information what you want. Program simple not allowed you to do this. So I am downloaded to command, edit everything what I want, then again load it on my computer and post it.
Yep, definitely.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad command is working for you.
Yeah.
Good. They have lots of different designs. They're uploading new designs all the time. Like I said, a lot of times for holidays and things like that. So you can post something, happy, whatever, happy Thanksgiving, happy Halloween coming up, I guess. All kinds of different things. All right, Jeff, what'd you get out of today?
No, I just get reminded about the integration that Command has with Facebook and so forth. I just need to use it, exercise that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That I haven't,
Yeah. I mean, it is an easy way to do campaigns and things like that. You don't have to go anywhere separate, learn any other kind of software. Just get in there and do it. All right, guys. I didn't do scripts and role play once again. I talked too much. So please make sure you do some kind of practice and then get out there and call people. I think it's really important to make sure that we continue lead generation, continue working on the business, work in the business, I should say. You got to do the activities to continue getting business. You got to talk to people. And there are scripts in that Ignite toolkit. So I know scripts can seem scary and weird, but the more you say things, the more comfortable you'll be saying them, so that you don't stumble and that you're also able to really listen when they tell you something instead of think about what you're going to say next, because that's already ingrained in your head. So remember those things. Please remember to practice, and I hope you guys get something else out of the next class here at 11:30.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thanks, guys.
That was awesome. All right. Bye, Stacy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Stop share. Let's get oh. I didn't want to use this computer this time because I couldn't remember my login for command last time, and I'm like, I just want to be on my computer where all my stuff is.
No, I think I think it actually looks better because there's been other presenters been here in